Yeshua, I don't know my Hebrew, McAllister, was asking, I'm not sure how to word this, but has there been anything in Highland Dress that has been retroactively changed because of historical finds? So it's like, we're going along, and all of a sudden somebody digs something out of a hole, and it's like, oh, nope. Can't wear kilts anymore like that. That's right out.
I thought he was going to do the thing that I do. Like, I know I'm going to sound like a jerk saying this, but it's going to come out of my mouth anyway. No, he didn't do that. Has there anything that's been changed retroactively?
Based on new knowledge.
Based on new knowledge. Not to my knowledge. There's been things that have been added in that weren't there originally.
Oh, yeah.
Or that have kind of been adopted. I'm thinking like Highland shirt, with the ghillie shirt, with the laces up the front kind of thing. Stuff like that. Or ghillie brogues weren't, they're inspired by historical, but not really.
I think inspired by the past.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let's put a twist on this. Or if you're talking about the Victorians, like, oh, well, yes, I can tell from this painting, this is obviously how this is supposed to be worn and how this works. So you're just like, that becomes standard. It's like you're inventing it or squeezing it into your, whatever is your modern context. So again, Highland shirts are loosely based on work shirts of the 18th century, and ghillie brogues are supposed to be reminiscent of, bog shoe kind of things, ghillies that would have holes in them and straps, so if you get them stuck in the mud, you can pull your shoe out, all that kind of stuff. But the opposite of saying, oh, it turns out they actually wore flippers, so we got to stop wearing ghillie brogues, and now we're all going to wear flippers instead. That doesn't really happen. I think there's definitely more examples of the opposite. Like, there's another one you mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, the reproduction tartans.
Right.
There are things that have kilts have a murky origin. So, and it's not like, and Moses came down and said, here are the 10 commandments of kilts. Like, it didn't happen like that. It wasn't, here's the moment in time where they started, and this is now canon, period. It evolved slowly over time. It is a much slower evolving fashion, if I'm using the term loosely, than like regular fashion is, but it still evolved over time. Like Prince Charlie's didn't always exist.
Right.
They were a tweak, a fashion tweak on a regimental doublet, which was a little bit pre-Prince Charlie, 1920s-ish. So things have evolved. Now, looking back at it, you could say like, well, the Prince Charlie wasn't the right formal dress jacket. So let's not wear that. Let's wear a Kenmore, or let's wear a Montrose, or let's wear the regimental doublet. That's not really throwing something off because it wasn't accurate. That's just being cyclical in fashion. It's not like a 20-year burn it fast fashion kind of cycle, but it's a 100-year type cycle.
Yeah, it's more taste. It's really just how tastes change.
Correct. Or evolve, or what becomes in fashion. Now, that being said, talking about the reproduction tartans, the one that was kind of closest to the gent's question was something that they discovered it and now it's a thing, or they changed the way they're doing things. The closest to that is in the 1950s, the mill D.C. Dalgleish discovered and were given this swatch of tartan that was found in a peat bog, and the original colors they're trying to reproduce as authentically as possible. And then they came out with a line of tartans where the blue changed to gray, the green turned to brown, the red turned to like a salmony pinkish kind of red, and they just said, yep, this is the thing. It was marketing. No one has ever seen the swatch of cloth. It has never been produced. It is one of those things where they put it forward. It kind of caught on, especially in the 90s and 2000s. Reproduction or
now called weathered, right?
Well, not now called weathered. Dalgleish owned the copyright on the phrase reproduction colors as it applied to tartans.
Okay.
So other mills were like, hey, we can just change the colors too. You can't call it reproduction. Okay, we'll call it weathered. And then they just started doing weathered colors. So Loch Heron has a big collection of weathered colors on a lot of different tartans. So that one is something that it wasn't really discovered, but it was claimed to be discovered, but it just looked good, so it caught on. So it really boils down to if it looks good and gets accepted widely enough over a certain amount of time, then it will kind of become part of the story that is tartan.
Yeah, I think it with all this stuff, it's a matter of how tastes change over time, but usually with any single element of what we're talking about, once the genie's out of the bottle, it's not going back in again. Another example I've heard you use is the Sobieski Stewart tartans. Some people knew or felt that they were probably a con job from the very beginning. Other people weren't sure, but they wanted to believe they were legit. And you had lots of clans who adopted these tartans and said, these are now our official tartans. This is us. Great. And basically, a few years later, 20, 30, 100 years later, the research is confirmed. Yeah, no, they made them all up. So have people gone to not wearing...
At least a good amount.
Right, a lot. Yeah, so have they said, nope, we're never wearing this again. This was a fake. It was a fraud. We're never wearing this tartan again. Blah, gone. Strike from the record. That doesn't happen. Because it still looks good, and we've been wearing it for so long now, we're going to keep it.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's it. Just, once it's out of the bottle, it's out of the bottle.
They pulled the wool over their eyes.
Yeah, there's a lot of old style stuff in Highland wear, but you know what? I'm still hoping they're going to bring the pith helmet back. Tell me what you think in the comments.
Cheerio, Governor!